Cloud computing. Let's explore cloud computing in the following ways: definition, common uses, technical names, convenience, personal use, business use, educational use, well-known clouds, and privacy issues. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is using software or accessing files that are stored on an online server or a device that is not part of the physical computer that you might be using. Now let's look at some common cloud computing. You may not think you know what this is, but if you use Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, or any other type of email account with an online server, or if you use Microsoft Office and back it up your files on their cloud, if you use iTunes to store your music, if you upload photos from your smartphone to a cloud, or if you use Dropbox to share personal files with friends. You may even use a storage network on the job for data and for programming. If so, you use cloud computing. Now let's take a look at some more technical types of cloud computing, some things you may know that you use but not know what they're called. These are SaaS, utility computing, web services in the cloud, platform as a service, managed service providers, service commerce platforms, and internet integration. The first of these is SaaS. This is a single application provided to millions through a single browser or any kind of browser. An example of this would be like applications or apps that you download for use on your smartphone or computer. Utility computing is a server space, or a virtual server as it's known, which is purchased for storage by a user, and it can be accessed quickly by IT employees. An example of this would be like IBM storage. Web services over the cloud. This is where portions of an application or a program can be accessed online through a cloud without having to purchase the entire program or use the entire program as it was originally intended. An example of this would be when you use Google Maps. You use a portion of the map that they have created, which is huge. Next is platform as a service. This is a service that allows users to create their own applications to run certain software online. An example of this would be Force.com. The next is managed service providers, also called MSP. This is the oldest form of cloud computing. This would be an application that is used for information rather than for a human user itself. An example of this would be a virus scanning software that you use to scan over your emails before you download something. Next is Service Commerce Platform. This is a hybrid of the SaaS and the MSP. It's used in commerce or trading. It's often called an automated service bureau. This helps with business management. An example of this would be Reardon. This type would be internet integration. This would be using multiple functions of cloud computing at once. This is still in its early days and is not widely used. Many sources, like OpSource, is one example, but most of them that have started have not lasted. You may wonder what the use of cloud computing would be. The main one would be convenience. So convenient about cloud computing? Through cloud computing, you have access to your files from any device because it's stored offline. You have large storage capacity compared to what you would have, say, on your laptop. Multiple users can access the same files and the same programs and work together on one program, even if they're countries apart. There's also a reduced cost of software since you only pay for the one program that is held online and everyone can use the same program. Let's talk about some uses of cloud computing. How about personal use? Here are some ways that cloud computing is used by everyone in everyday use. With our music, we use iTunes or other MP3 file savers to store our music so that we can download them and use them on multiple devices. We store our photos online because it saves space on our phones or on our computers. And other files, large files such as databases and files that we don't want to keep on our computer, we can save them or share them on these storage servers. Also emails. We use email accounts every day to email friends for personal use. And we use cloud computing for programming that we want to access online. Let's take a quick look at some of the ways that cloud computing is used in business. We use business emails. They're programs that are stored that employees can share. Databases house customer information for corporations and other small businesses. It also allows for shared file access among employees. It also allows employees to monitor activity among each other or from their supervisors to monitor the employee activity within the files and who is working on what file at what time. Let's take a quick look at how a cloud computing may be used in an educational setting. Obviously, online coursework would be saved and accessed by many students that are in one class. You may have 30 to 40 students in a class, all accessing the same information through a cloud, which would be stored on a server at the college. Books are accessible online. This is vast amounts of information that are saved off of computers that don't take up space on your laptop. Emails between students and professors or other administration is used in this format. In addition, databases are saved on storage devices for administration to share about the students, so the different departments can access up-to-date and current information about the students who are attending that college. You may not be aware that some of the companies that you currently know the names of are using cloud computing. Some of these major players might include Apple. They use the iCloud, the most popular one probably. Adobe, their Creative Suite. You can access their programming online as well as save your files when you're creating Photoshop and InDesign files and all of the other Adobe Creative Suites. Microsoft Office also utilizes this as well. You can access Word, PowerPoint, Excel, or anything. You can save your files on the cloud and not have to save them on your laptop. You can share them with your friends or your colleagues that way. And it's much less expensive to purchase a Microsoft. I believe it's around $10 a month to be able to use any of these services through Adobe or Microsoft versus paying several $100s for a license. Email hosts and web hosts, such as we discussed Gmail, and that would be like GoDaddy.com that services websites. Box.net and Dropbox, those are storage sites that are used to store photos and share photos and files with friends and colleagues. Other issues with privacy. What are some of the concerns about the security of these storage facilities that they're online, that you can't see, you can't have access to them? Are they secure? Some of these issues that arise are that the files are accessible by other people. Employees or friends, once they have your information, they can go in and, as long as you don't change your password, they can go in and access anything that they have. If you upload it on the internet is endless. Not only hackers, but just the layman can get on the internet and find photos or files that you've uploaded. Often this process is not reversible. Once you've put a photo on the internet, it's out there and it will stay out there, no matter if you erase it off of your end or not. Security of information can easily be compromised if you're not careful with what you're doing. However, if managed correctly and regarded with proper caution, cloud computing can be quite secure. This may involve a company who specializes in securing such information. This presentation was brought to you by Joyce Kepley. It's a multimedia presentation that was for digital fluency class at Texas A&M Commerce. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed exploring this topic with me. Please take a moment to visit the following websites to learn more about cloud computing and what it has to offer. Thank you.